Hi everyone, so I want to do a check-in on Elijah Vue, keeping his name out there. Please do like, subscribe for these people, these souls, these children that really need to be found or laid to rest. In Elijah Vue's case, you probably know, if you've not checked out reading 1 and 2, I believe this is reading 3, which means that he might get his own folder now, playlist folder. Please do check them out. This is a case that within the first read it was really difficult on me not to do the read, but it was very dark. I also feel very frustrated that it was clear Elijah was not in fit hands. And you probably know from my readings frustration towards others that knew this. So I want to see where law enforcement are. Are they onto anything in the background? Is there anything? I think the last reading might have been a month or so, or 3 weeks ago. And if you're not a subscriber, I welcome you to subscribe. Requesting readings that are not personal, or readings on subject matters or more parts on certain subject matters or cases. When you're not subscribed, or there's not even a super thanks with that request or a donation, I think is not going to go down. I've got limited time. I don't get anything from this channel. If you are a subscriber and you're requesting a follow-up, I appreciate that. Maybe consider supporting things on the channel, ways to support. Nothing in life is free, yet all the content I put out is free and there's no incentive back. And if you find me a trusted reader or intuitive or channeler or psychic, then it must be worth a little bit of an appreciation. But most of all, maybe just the tone that a request is done in should be maybe looked at. I'm not a production factory, okay? And if we think of anything in life, nothing is free. Yeah, I've been doing this free for a couple of years. And, you know, the content, it seems like people prefer the cases, and I'm fine with that. But yes, so I just needed to say that. And others of you that have supported the channel, do comment, engage and share. I appreciate that. Those have supported in other ways, I also appreciate that, and I appreciate our subscribers as well. So let's look into this case, Elijah Vue. Check part 1, part 2. I'm going to look at law enforcement. I'm also going to look on probably the mum's energy, because, you know, I've been feeling like she might just be like, I want to get out of this, but she's probably not going to want to say where Elijah is or disclose any information, but she's just going to be a bit like, just get me out. So I wonder if they're going to try and get a plea with her or something like that. 1 minute, I just need to have a sip. Just before I go ahead, make sure you support also the content you like. I always do ask what content you like, and if you don't support it, then it probably gives me the indication it's not what you want to see. So let's get the content out in the algorithm. It doesn't cost us anything. And I haven't asked a question, I'm just shuffling, so anything that comes out I'm not taking. So yeah, I'm worried about the mum, but we need to see what law enforcement, if they're onto anything, because it's back in February, isn't it? So it's taking time. There's not been such a media hype like Sebastian's case, like some other cases, but it's not been a cold case. And this boy, you know, Elijah, I feel like he wasn't necessarily feeling well. I don't know if I said this in other reads, when, you know, during that time, I feel like he might have had, do you know when you got a cold? Like I always see him like a chesty cough, a bit stuffed up, snotty nose. I don't mean it in a disgusting way, but a blocked nose. And he could like come in and he's just not feeling well, pulling, if he's got it like, I feel like he had like a teddy or something, a comfort of something that he would pull around with him. And he's come in, you can tell as a child, he's just not well. Do you know when children are not well? But obviously he didn't get that love. And I don't think they even paid attention that he wasn't feeling well. Oh, it breaks my heart, this case. And I know it's not one of the cases that gets the most views, but I just want to keep his name out there. So those of you that feel for this case as well, I really appreciate if you do comment and like, and also let me know what you're thinking. What are your thoughts about either of the things that we're going to read on in this read? Or, yeah, chesty cough, bunged up nose. If I was the neighbour, I'd probably, it wouldn't have been a good thing. It would have been alarm bells going. So what I'm getting with law enforcement is they're not able to crack any leads that take them to actually finding Elijah. And for me, like I said, it's his body, unfortunately. They're not able to, I feel like they, you know, they might get a new lead, or they might think, let's search here, and there's some excitement around it because they feel like there's a clue, but then there's nothing found. Like I mentioned, I think it's Elijah that I mentioned, not Sebastian. I do think Elijah has been moved since they were arrested, and that's because a third party knew where Elijah was placed, and I think they moved him. Now I just want to ask before we go into law enforcement, was the blanket a bit of a decoy, or was it stupidity of being off their heads and it dropped? Oh, Elijah. Poor baby, eh? Poor baby. Okay, so was the blanket... We got a card. Yes. We got a yes straight away. I didn't even finish this question. But I said what I was going to ask. And justice. So was the blanket... Let me ask again. Because the question was the blanket a decoy? But let me ask again. So now I've asked the full question. I want 3 spit out cards. I'll stop when I get the card. This says a no for me. I'm going to ask it one more time. I didn't finish the question and it's a no again. Okay, so there's a mixed message here. So there's something in the question that's a yes and something in the question that's a no. I did ask, so let's split the question. The question I asked is the blanket a decoy? And I was like, is it a decoy that Elijah's body is in the opposite direction? So we're getting mixed messages. So let me just, with the meanings of these cards, I'm getting mixed messages. Let's do this separately and see then if it makes more sense. I'm going to take 2 cards and a third if needed. what was the question? Okay. Okay. This is telling me it was a bit of a decoy. All right. Okay, so and now I'm getting double yes. So and it's a justice card again, straight out. So it is not in the same direction as Elijah. And the decoy question, I just feel like they're a bit stupid to do a decoy. Do you know when you, but they might have done. So it might not be in the same direction. If they're focusing on the blanket, it's not the same direction that they're focusing on. And it's interesting because I can see behind him like this veil, but I feel like it's the blanket. I can't remember if it's this case that I felt that the blanket was like not a red, a maroon red, but I can't quite remember. I do always remember the a green shoe because that turned out to be his dino shoe, didn't it? That was left, and I'd said that. Okay, so I'm just going to put this upright. So potentially it was a decoy. It's not in the same direction. His body is not in the same direction they're looking. So it might be in the opposite, right? So let's just ask that. It's not in the opposite direction, but it's not in the direction of the blanket. So this is where it's get confusing. But, you know, with the word opposite, it means that the blanket is here, opposite's here. It might not mean this way or that way, but it's not in where they're looking. Let's go into no, Spirit's asking me to I'm going to use a different deck to do the question that I have. Let's see what law enforcement are up to. So show me law enforcement's energy on this case at this moment, please. These are too many, so I'm gonna... So they believe the couple are involved. I think I got this last time. They believe that Elijah was... I think they believe Elijah's no longer with us, but it's not something they're willing to state. They're not willing to state that they believe he's gone. So I presume the police, when they speak... they might not say they believe he's no longer with us, but that they are looking for him without stating what they believe is the case. They believe both of them are involved. And here again, I think they're going to try with the mother who... I feel her energy is she just wants out. So I think they're going to try and pull on her about the loss of Elijah. And I'm being brought again to the red here of like... And I'm also being brought to red and blue, which is giving me sort of, you know, the red pill, the blue pill kind of vibe. So again, something around possibly medicine. And also a DNA left in areas if they can't quite find him. I'm going to consider this, but they're looking at land, and they're also not disregarding water here. All right, so they're looking at both. So I don't know if they've got like if they've had like sonars or drones in the area. Show me law enforcement, how are they? Yeah, they do think it's both of them. They do think both the couple are involved. They believe possibly, you know, there's drug involved, D-R-U-G. I feel there's something more about that. I feel like they don't, I feel like they feel like they're laughing in their faces. Like, do you know when, you know, someone knows the answer, someone did it, but they're just not letting go of. So they're feeling it quite as if they're laughing in their faces, like smiling in their faces kind of energy, not a good energy. Show me the Lovers. Don't know where all my little crystals for here are. There's more that I usually have in front of me, just behind the camera. Take this, but I'm not taking the rest. Yeah, so I do believe that they think the mother is going to want to be let free of. I think they're going to feel like they can maybe get to the mother more than that guy. What's his name? Jesse. Yeah, she's Christina. Is it Christina or Katrina? Katrina. It is gone a bit quiet, and they feel like it's a bit on a downward turn because there's no clues that have come forward for the victory. And so now they're having major choices on whether to consider seeing if they can come up with a deal for the mother, I feel, more so than Jesse. Okay. I feel like I said, they are getting clues, but nothing is really, like, they'll go to the place, but then they feel like nothing's coming out of it. They'll go search a place, they think this could really be it, and then nothing comes out. So they need more clues, and I think they're trying to get clues from digital evidence. I wonder if they've got their phones. They should have their phones. How long does it take for the technology, professional technology, to do all the phone work? Is it like 3 months or something? Either way, they might have that a bit more evidence on in terms of the phones, communication, online, digital footprints. And they still are waiting to hear back from that. And when they do, it won't be something that they announce until arrest is made. Look, arrest of who's guilty. And at the moment, who's being like secretive, deceitful, and lying. And they believe that they are. All right. So once that is done and they have the information, they're ready to... They're just waiting to really crack it. A couple of more cards. Too many cards here. We'll take this one. So they are working on the case. They are working on the case. And they are hoping for that breakthrough of a new sort of cracking the case. Again, here I see the plea deal coming through, which is, I think, the mother's wish fulfillment. Something about the guy as well. So that is something that might come up. But I hope they find Elijah or another clue. So can get the readout so people can call the line, and so that it's back in the news, puts pressure on. I didn't ask a question, but this is, you know, there could be someone in law enforcement that is a bit paranoid about this case, bit paranoid to sort of turn their back. I think it weighs heavy on them. Maybe they've got children, you know, maybe they've got a son or they've got children, and it's a case that really haunts them at night. So what I'm going to do now is, so I do believe they're working on it. I wonder, is anyone in the area that's watching this, have you seen them with dogs? I dare say that the searches are speculate, so there's not like all the law enforcement on the ground like the beginning, but then they might be out searching once they feel they have the clues that I've mentioned. Let's look at the mother's energy a bit more. She did come through while I was just downloading before the cards. And I want to use this deck. I hope everyone is doing well today. Who thinks that this year has gone by so fast? It's July. I can't believe it. I seriously just feel like last week was January, the first week of January. Does anyone feel, I know that years go by fast when we look at the end of the year. Oh, it's the New Year party. This year's gone really fast, but I really, like, when it hit May, I was like, what the hell? May, at the end of May, I was like, my God, we're at the middle of the year. Does anyone else feel that way? Sorry for that, but I'm just shaking the energy out. So this is Elijah part 3. Elijah Vue. Elijah Vue. Just bear with me a moment. So I just got my phone because I feel like he was named Elijah for a reason, like a meaning. So I'm just going to check on that. Oh, wow. So Elijah, this is really interesting. So I feel like actually Jessie and what's her name, Katrina, are at the opposite ends. So this is, in Hebrew, it means the Lord is my God. And it's actually mentioned in most of the religions. So that's in Hebrew, and it's holding much sway in the biblical realm. In the Quran, it's Elijah told his people to come and, you know, believe in God. It's interesting, isn't it, given the fact that I wonder if they were Jehovah's Witnesses or the background is. It's a very religious name. So there's a reason. I mean, he was a prophet. So Elijah defended the worship of the Hebrew god over the Canaanite Baal. God also performed many miracles through Elijah, including resurrection, bringing fire down from the sky, and entering heaven alive by fire. It's interesting this is stated, because there was a card here that I looked at the fire and I was like, I can't remember what card it was. It might have been the Tower. And I was like, do I feel like there's fire involved? And I couldn't remember if it was his. I think I did mention his. Anyway, you're probably like, I'm not here for a history lesson, but there's a reason that that's been brought up. Okay, so this might also suggest that he is with the angels, protected little Elijah. All right, so what we're looking at, the mother's energy. So let's see if she comes up with a plea that I feel like she wants a plea basically, but how much is she willing to disclose is going to govern the plea, and can they get a breakthrough before offering her this? I would suspect they're due to appear in court for something in July, so, but I don't have the dates. If anyone knows the dates, please let me know, because I'd like to see that. I've not seen them. I've seen a picture, but I've not seen their energy, and I'd like to just see that without seeing too much. So show me the mother's energy with regards to the case. You see here juggling of the decision, and I think it's around the deal, to be honest, and the decisions that were made here. It's interesting, I'm being brought to her embroidery for some reason on her dress, so I wonder if there would have been something on her, what she was wearing, that could have been as evidence. We do have water here. She is obviously a mother. She's got some emotions in there, but she's really juggling a decision, or she will be, and I think this is going to be around a plea. I really feel like she's going to be given like a plea. She did walk away from this. I do think that she might have been there when Elijah was left. Show me the mother's energy. She's obviously, there's the, we need to keep going because this is telling me a story now. Hang on a sec. Too many cards. Cards are not coming out. Okay, so I need to discuss what's on the table. There is a decision that she's trying to juggle, or she will be juggling, and I think this is just going back to confirm that there might be a plea deal needed. And as I look back down, Spirit is bringing me back to this embroidery here for some reason. Okay, so there might be something that come out of that. Now Spirit is showing me this star. This star is significant in Israel. It's significant in Hebrew, isn't it? It's like the star. So I wonder if they were of a Jewish or Jehovah's Witness background. There's something there. Anyway, and now I'm getting something about, I think they might have, oh, I don't want to go into that. I don't know why I just got something about sacrificing. Okay. So here also there's she does reflect on the past. She reflects on Elijah as well. But there's something that ties in there to the father of Elijah as well. So she reflects on probably when she was pregnant with Elijah, she just had Elijah, and maybe the significance of the father. Was the father present? He wasn't present. That kind of stuff. But she still has like this, what can I say? She still has like this crush or dreamer kind of energy around either Jesse or the father, something around that, okay? And if you've seen my further reads, you know that I've got that she is a bit, priorities are wrong. Here, she's needing to have patience at this moment in time. She does have a veil, she's masking something. And what she's masking is really what can break through the case and where Elijah could be found. And there's trees there as well, but I'm going to get into that later. So show me, just put these like this. So she wants to keep all the answers to herself, and at the same time she wants to manifest an outcome that's that's the outcome she wants, basically. But there is disharmony here. There's something not going her way so far. Like the decision she'll need to make, it's not going her way so far. And she's still holding on to everything she knows. And she's hoping that this will come upright, so she has it more or less her way. The King of Pentacles with this as well probably confirms she's hoping for a bargaining or a plea. Now show me her energy towards Elijah. Let's see what we get. Is she self-focused? Ace of Wands. That to me tells me she's focused on trying to get, let me get more cards before I say something. Yeah, she's focused on basically trying to get things moving in her favor. And she's very much in her head. I wonder if she's got a lawyer. If not, she's waiting to have a lawyer so that things can do an upward turn for her, and she can probably look at this like it kicks off kind of like a new movement, doesn't it, for her, where she can maybe have a plea where she gets off a little bit easier, or she, for whatever she's already been guilty for, which I believe is obstruction and neglect. Does anyone know where, I was picking up that Elijah has a sister. Does anyone know who has the care of her? I do feel like Elijah misses his sister. And although he's younger, I wonder if he worries about her a little bit, which is, I just see him with that. And I've actually said the blanket now. So I think his comforter was the blanket, not necessarily a teddy. And as I say that, I also see a teddy. But I just see him walking through and he really wants love. Like he wants love. And I think he'd sometimes go to his sister, but she was young. And I don't think she, even though kids when they're young, they can know, I don't think she understood. Let's see how Jesse's feeling right now. Just a couple of cards. I feel sick all of a sudden. Okay. He's holding on. He's not letting go of the past. He's not letting go of what was done. He's not letting go of anything, right? He's just holding on here. He probably thinks about it sometimes at night, but I don't think he's feeling any remorse or guilt here. With these cards that I see, he's just like resisting it. He's resisting like the inevitable, you know what I mean? He's not letting go of what he should face. He's not letting go, even if he's got any sense of emotions. He's negative emotions. He's not letting go. But it seems like as we go along, this might actually push him into a little bit of reflection, because I feel like it is in some way. But he, so far, is holding on. And it's interesting because her energy, I feel, is more codependent on him. And that's what I see here. Is one of them a Sagittarius, by the way? But it's kind of like there is that energy of the lovers here as well, okay? But it seems like she's more holding on to him than he is. I asked if he could be feeling any guilt, and I do think he is starting to wake up to it a little bit. Waking up to he's starting to wake up to maybe the dynamics of what he did. I won't be surprised if Elijah's first place was marked with something that they knew where he was. It wouldn't be obvious to the eye, but something like that. I feel like he might be so far feeling a little bit more guilty, or his consciousness is kicking in more that I just don't feel it, but the cards are saying that Katrina was the mother. Yeah, he is starting to feel a sense of guilt. Yeah. Okay, so we'll leave this here. And we'll do a check-in in the near future. If you enjoyed this, you know what to do. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.